Magandang araw and welcome to our show where we explore the world of entrepreneurship and innovation. It's a startup.
Now na, USAPANG PAYAMAN, online tambayan. Today, we dive into the vibrant culture of sports entertainment in the Philippines, a space where passion, community, and fan dynamics are creating new opportunities.
We'll be talking about a platform that's changing how fans engage with sports. Imagine being able to create game predictions, join online tests with co-fans, compete for prize pools, all without spending real money.
Is that really possible?
Oo naman, Hana. In fact, this platform has already been creating buzz and introducing a fresh layer of excitement in the gaming and sports ecosystem. Kaya naman through this two-part interview, let's uncover how sports fandom, entertainment, and entrepreneurial innovation intersect in exciting ways.
Joining us today are two remarkable figures in esports and gaming space. First, Mr. Riaan Laubscher, Managing Director of ArenaSocial.
And Mr. Manjean Faldas, one of the country's most prominent esports talent and broadcasters.
Welcome to our show.
Thank you guys for having us.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining.
Yeah. Good
Okay.
morning.
Good morning. So to start our interview, in one sentence, how would you describe ArenaSocial?
Well, ArenaSocial is a free-to-play brand or app that we created that give players the ability to engage with us as a brand and each other as a competition.
When I first heard about the app and the website, I was fascinated with it because as a fan of the sports, it gives me an opportunity to try to analyze, to put in my analysis whether I watch the sports or esports games, and with the free-to-play aspect of it, it's quite fun. Like every day you get three predictions only. So like sometimes a few minutes of my day, like I just go in and okay, let's check the app and let's try to predict.
The important part is the free part because I think that's what helps people along. You don't pay for it, it's not gambling, but it gives you the satisfaction and the thrill of having to do your predictions and turning it into a little competition. So you can have personal challenges against people. I can challenge him because I can see him on the leaderboard, and it becomes a personal pride thing to see if I can finish top 10.
Okay, so let's get to know ArenaSocial more. First, what is ArenaSocial and what inspired its creation?
Okay, so as I mentioned, it's a free-to-play prediction app. Now, it sounds like a lot of big words, but it's actually very simple. What we tried to do was create a platform or an environment where people who like sports can go and make their predictions based on their knowledge of the sport that they like or want to get to know, but in a safe environment and in an environment where they don't have to pay for it, so that they can practice and bring up their skills and get the thrill and the excitement of competing against other people. So we've created this platform. It uses real sports, and it's a variety of different sports, from esports all the way to basketball, cricket, rugby, any sport that you can think of. It's on there. Foosball, I didn't even know that was a sport.
Like swimming also.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we give people the ability to practice their skills and make their predictions on a multiple or a big variety of different sports. So yeah, it's all about the engagement portion of it and also the competition side, the excitement around, as I mentioned, I can compete against someone. It's that personal, challenge against someone.
Yeah, so next question. So how does ArenaSocial connect with today's digital generation?
Well, Manjean is more an expert on today's digital generation. My digital generation didn't exist; it was dial-up. So, but from a brand perspective, it sort of fits in quite nicely. Things are a lot easier nowadays because technology has evolved a lot. As I said, I remember dial-up days where there was no engagement with a brand and the person on the other side of the internet, if you want to call it that. It was more a case of pushing content to someone and they had to consume it, and you never really got feedback about what was the content like, that they perceive it as good enough for them or that they enjoy it. you would have to do focus groups to get feedback. Nowadays it's a lot easier because you can have interactive feedback through social media, through friends like Manjean who has discussions with people all the time. It's a lot more engaging and it's actually a lot easier for brands nowadays. But on the flip side, it also becomes more challenging because the competition, everyone has exactly the same methods and mechanisms available, so you have to stay on top of your game, otherwise you will fall behind.
I kind of feel that the brand also, like ArenaSocial, represents the fans itself. Like the brand is also a fan of whatever sports industry or esports industry there is, and I think with the digital space that it has, it can give us a faster connection to at least feel or give a sense of what the pulse is of what's happening in a specific game. Like for example, basketball. Basketball is very popular in the Philippines, so you kind of have a glimpse of okay, there's so much hype with Victor Wembanyama, like the Alien and SGA just plopping every time. So it kind of gives the fans the opportunity to connect faster to the game that they want.
Okay, so what kind of community does ArenaSocial want to build?
Based on experience for being a partner with ArenaSocial, it connects to a lot of how the Filipinos play because again in the Philippines, Filipinos are I want to say, I'm finding the word, Filipinos are very hospitable and very welcoming. And what I like about the brand is that it's very welcoming to different classes in the Philippines. Like even though you're rich, even though you're poor, again it's free to play, no gambling involved. So like you can easily come with the community and join.
The other thing for us from a brand perspective that's important is it's all about engagement and sort of being part of the community and the people that you work with. And so, for example, we do a lot of content that we shoot ourselves, and for us that's quite important because it shows that we want to engage with fans. We want to be, part of sort of a family environment. There's a specific reason we do that, and that's important for me. So as you can see, I'm only 30% Filipino. So as an outsider, I observed and I looked at a lot of things, and the one thing I did find was that in the Philippines, it takes a lot of time to build trust, right? So it is important for us as a brand to build trust amongst our players, our staff, and our broader family. So there's different ways you can do that. And because we're free to play, automatically you're perceived as something strange could be happening because it's too good to be true. Why would someone give me something for free? So for us, it's important to build a trust, not only, as I mentioned, with our fans, but as a community, so that people can feel comfortable and safe with us as a brand. They can get to trust us, get to know us, get to know who we are, and then they will start engaging. And that builds a community, and when you build a community, things are a lot easier.
What made you say yes to becoming part of ArenaSocial?
I think as a shoutcaster for esports for a very long time, ArenaSocial for me is actually just I do it on a daily basis because back then when the app was not existing yet, I always, when I watch sports, I always have debates with my cousins. Every time we watch the Miami Heat, we're always like, okay, it's because like I believe that every Filipino has their own version of analysis, and we call it in the Philippines, I call it the Tito analysis. Tito analysis is like the most simplest analysis. They're just gonna base it on how they see the game. Like for example, if the ball misses, it's like I'm sorry, I'm gonna swear, like ang bobo naman. For me, that's kind of like a little bit of analysis because the person who's saying ang bobo naman immediately feels an emotion and immediately feels something in his head. That's why he said it. And I kind of feel like with those emotions, there's a little bit of analysis in it because there's always a reason behind why they're gonna say it. So for me as a shoutcaster, I kind of do it on a daily basis, like having a little bit of maybe it's because of this why they lost. That's the fun aspect of it for me.
Eco analysis. That's a good term. So, what do you personally enjoy about representing the brand?
When we do activations, I want to really connect to the people. Last time we did a basketball tournament, I think a basketball showcase back in the Tenement court. And Tenement is a very famous cultural, cultural landmark in the Philippines, and it gave me the opportunity to see the landscape and the culture of the Filipinos. Like one part of the culture of the Filipinos, like when you say basketball in that part of the country, it gives you the ability to get closer to them. And I was transformed. I'm finding the word. I was transformed in a different realm when I was there, and it built something in me. Like, okay, the fans really love the game, and really thankful for ArenaSocial in giving me the opportunity to at least be part of that community.
How does ArenaSocial reflect naman your personality and interests?
Oh, I think it's a reflection of my interest because again the brand for me is a fan also, and I love sports. I watch basketball, I watch esports, Dota 2, League of Legends, and wrestling also. So I'm really a fan of the stories. And I think it's because of the stories that's the reason why we watch sports. And ArenaSocial helps like the people understand the stories better because of the games that it has on the app.
So when we looked at who we could pick as brand ambassadors, we looked at multiple videos and stuff. So I thought he fits in perfectly with the brand. It's who we want to be. It's how we want to reach out to our audience. And Manjean does it perfectly well. So for us, it made a logical sense to partner with him. And the synergies are there, so it helps everyone involved.
I think the best thing to really connect with fans is to have fun, because you really can't compete with people who are having fun, right? No matter what happens, right? So I think based on experience in partnering with ArenaSocial, they have concert events also, right? So the fun aspect is always part of the brand's mission.
Life's far too serious. We have so many problems in the world. We all have problems at home, political issues. There are wars across the world. Life is too complicated. We need to have more fun. So for me, this brand we can have fun with. We can invite people that wants to have fun, and we can all have fun together. So for me, this brand is not serious. We're serious about doing a good job, but we're not serious in how we do it. We want to have fun while we do it. We don't want to be stiff corporate. That's not who we are. So we were joking around earlier, we never called him boss, but actually for me that's important. There are no bosses. We're all equal. We're all equal in the world. We're all human beings. And it's time that we start relaxing and enjoying ourselves, each other.
Yes, so thank you to ArenaSocial for giving the Philippines the opportunity to enjoy sports while connecting with people who love fun and sports. So moving on, what trends are shaping online communities today?
I think engagement is definitely in the forefront, but I want to take a little step back. Something I forgot to mention earlier is when you asked me the question about why we started ArenaSocial, again, one of the observations I made when I got here was the Filipinos love sports, right? You guys are sportsmen, similar to my country, so I like that. And predictions in sport has always been there, but in most countries it is related to gambling, and that is a big problem because not all people want to gamble, not all people can gamble, and not all people should gamble, right? So those are three important things. So I wanted to create something that we could give people who fit those three criteria, that also want to make predictions and also want to engage with a sporting event. And by creating ArenaSocial, we could give them that avenue or that mechanism or means to do that. And that ties into what I said, what is shaping the sort of online industry is that engagement portion. So now we can engage with people who typically may not want to gamble or may not want to feel comfortable doing that. Now they also have a way to do what they want to do with no risk. It is a safe environment, and we can interact with them and we can talk to them and they can talk to us and we can help each other and we can all feel more relaxed and enjoy life a bit more.
Yeah, so with that in mind, what kind of content connects most with people now?
Well, it depends who you ask, right? So we're all from different ages here. So if you ask our younger audience, the Gen Zs, they would tell you that short form video is something that engages them, something that's quick. Now, I'm not that young, but I'm ADHD, so short form video technically should work for me too because I cannot concentrate that long. But I don't like short form video. For me, I don't get enough out of it to really engage with it. I enjoy more, like he said, the story about it. I want to follow the story, and then for me in a short form video, it's too rushed. But yeah, short form is the way things are done, and we do a lot of that as well, and we try to push that and just keep the right audiences engaged.
I think the best content is always the most authentic content. Like the more genuine the storytelling of that content, the more emotions come out of the content, and a lot of people can actually relate, of course, to the stories. Again, that's why we watch those types of content. And what I like about ArenaSocial is they don't really fake it. I kind of feel like if I watch their content, all of their employees also are doing the content on their own. Like they try to argue whoever's gonna win in a specific sports. Like if you're gonna go to the page, you're gonna see it. And they also choose their partners very precisely. Like I've been seeing a lot of partners or a lot of content creators in different fields promoting ArenaSocial to at least tap like different classes in the Philippines, because again, we're very welcoming. Like everybody is welcome here.
It's about the connection. So an important point you made is, if you ask me what is our target audience, I can't break it down to an exact specific demographic. And I actually don't want to 100% break it down to say it is males between 25 and 35 who like sports, because it isn't really. We have to create an environment for most people where they can engage with us. If you're female, if you're older, if you're younger, it shouldn't matter. There should be content for you to be able to engage with, to have that connection. So that's why these guys get me to do some videos.
Do you do some?
Yeah, I've agreed to do some, so I'm also engaged with the short form videos. And for me that's important because I also have to reach out, make an effort to connect with the younger audience as well, so that we all feel that we meet each other halfway. That's what it's about. It's that connection, and the only way to get a connection is if we meet each other halfway.
Okay, Riaan, how important do you think is authenticity in the digital space?
It's crucial, specifically now with AI around, because I would say these are made up stats. 80% of what you see nowadays are all made with AI generated. It's AI generated content, and for me, I can't engage with that because it's not real. It's not something you and I would have done. It's someone's imagination that they found a form to, or an outlet to push out. So for me, authenticity is key, because with authenticity, you can create a connection. As I mentioned earlier, that human or that connection is very, very important for us as a brand, but also for most humans. People want a connection. We are all human beings. Doesn't matter if you're an introvert or an extrovert, at some point, all of us crave for some form of a connection. And the only way to get connection to someone is with authenticity. So for me, that's important. So whatever we do as a brand, as a business, as partners, that authenticity is key for me.
For me, as a content creator myself, been doing this for maybe around 5-6 years. I think there's really no rules in doing content creation. You can always master like the craft in terms of how to edit the videos, like the technical side, how to shoot the video, how to speak in front of the camera. There's always a mix of 50-50, like 50% technical and 50% how can I do this authentically? How can I show myself? So every time I do content, I always kind of listen to myself, and when there's a video that I can understand and it's too clean, I kind of feel like, oh, that's a bad video because that's not me. Every time I make a mistake, I kind of put it there because again, that's me. Because in the like outside of that content, people are not perfect, and those uncertainties, those mistakes will make it perfect, will make it genuine. So there's no rules in making content. Even your mother who's just doing the dishes can actually make content, make an educational content for just washing the dishes.
But you may need to edit stuff out.
So yeah, the swear words for sure. Again, there's always a halfway part of meeting halfway of the technical side and the genuine side. So again, with the going back to ArenaSocial, I think they kind of hit it. They kind of hit their target market, which is an uncertain demographic for me.
Actually, that's nice because I think there's a big uncertain demographic. There's a lot of people that don't fit in a specific box because society wants to push us all into boxes. And why don't we just give people the ability to find what they want and give them the platform to do it?
And so you mentioned earlier about creating connection regardless of who you are, what you are. So do you think social media still helps create meaningful connections?
I think it's the fastest way right now, especially in the digital space. Kind of wondering what's next. Like 10 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, when I was a kid. There's no.
When I was an adult.
Yeah, there's no social media, and I think it really gives you a faster way to like express yourself. It's kind of dangerous always, like if you get too much of something, it's kind of dangerous, especially if you get like too much of the spotlight, if you like get followers and everything, because you can express too much of yourself. But then again, with the help of like groups and communities, like you can really find your way and maybe like get value out of it. Like for me, for example, I exited my safe zone, like shoutcasting MLB for a long time, and right now with the help of these brands, it really gives me opportunity to explore more of my talents, like this, for example.
Well, so he comes up from a different perspective. So I agree with what he says, that social media still is important to create meaningful connections. Now, you can look at this in two ways. There are really bad things happening on social media. Real negative comments can be made, a lot of bullying, those sorts of things. It's our job to try to turn it into a positive and use it for a positive purpose. When I grew up, there wasn't social media, so there was never really engagement between, let's say, a sports star and his fan base. All we used to see as a kid was your hero that played for a national team, whatever the sport may be, but you never really understood what their life was about. You never knew what happened behind the scenes. Now, I'm not saying 100% that people share their real life in social media, because I don't believe they do, but you still get some glimpses of what life is like from a different perspective, or for that specific person. So it does help, and we need to use that as a brand, as a society, to our benefit. But also, it is important that people understand that not everything you see on social media is real life. Not everything that people do on social media is really happening. and as a real reflection of society. So for me, it's balance. Balance in everything we do is critical.
You've mentioned earlier the hardship the difficulty to monitor the bad reviews, the bad comments on social media content. So what do you think are the challenges that brands face in keeping online audiences engaged?
Okay, two things. So, as I mentioned earlier, all brands have an online presence, and all brands try to do the same things. Social media strategies are the same, content production strategies are the same. So it is important that we try again to be authentic and in what we do and how we engage with people. Yes, there are people that call them crazy and will do weird things on social media and say weird things, and it's our job to help them and educate them and try to steer them towards the right direction. I'm sure Manjean sees a lot more of this other side of the business than we do, because he lives it, this is his life, he breathes it. So yeah, I think he would be better positioned to answer this one.
I think some brands struggle really of really finding, like, first, if you're gonna do it, I think there's always, like, for you to find your purpose, maybe create a thesis statement first of all, to at least have a backbone every time you get lost. Because for me, like, for example, if I do content, sometimes I do funny comedic skits, but then again I kind of feel like, okay, if I'm doing this, what's my mission, like what's my vision, what's my backbone. So every time I go back to the backbone, I kind of feel like, okay, if I do this event, it kind of relates to my backbone. So with partnering up with ArenaSocial, I kind of feel, okay, we kind of have like the same mission, I should say, of me as a sports fan, not just a sports fan. I'm also interested in other sports like volleyball, for example. Last time I watched in Mo Arena, I was like, okay, so this is how the volleyball fans feel every time they watch like their best volleyball players spike the ball. So I kind of feel like with the brand's principle, you always need to have like your backbone principle to go back to think of more creative activations, to think of more creative content for your brand. It's not just put your logo in it, it's more of how will you activate your brand, like how will you connect to your audience.
Yeah, if a brand doesn't understand their audience, it is very difficult to engage with them. Now, that is a semi-contradictory statement, because first you have to understand who your audience is to be able to understand what they want. But for me, it's important that we understand what our audience wants. Let me give you an example. So I also went to the Mo Arena to watch some college volleyball. What is the college volleyball league again?
PBL.
No.
Sorry, UAP and
Yes,
AA.
yes. Now, for me, that was such a fascinating experience, because in the arena they had the two teams obviously playing, and then on the one side was the one university and they had their drum sets, and on the other side was the other university, they had their drum sets. And every time their team got a point, they would have a little beat that they played. But if I didn't go and experience this event, I wouldn't have understood how that works and what that was about. So how would I know how to engage with those people if I don't understand and live with it and try to, experience what they experience? And that's how you engage with them.
Same with, I think, shoutcasting. Like before I really shoutcast a specific game, I do try my best to play the game, or at least connect with the players of the game, to understand the jargons, some of the slangs that they do. Because again, as Filipinos, we all have like our own jargons, also our own language. And if you understood those language, if you kind of have this closeness to the culture itself, you will immediately think of creative missions, like creative activations of how to be effective as a brand.
Now let's move to the fun part of the show.